Hello, and welcome back to the English Pulse. I'm your host.
And I'm your resident vocabulary expert. We're so glad you're joining us again today.
Yeah, this is the space where we take the English you've learned in textbooks and actually apply it to the complex, kind of messy reality of adult life.
That is the mission, right? We aren't just here to teach you grammar rules. We are here to give you the specific vocabulary you need to navigate the real world. You know, your career, your relationships, and honestly, your peace of mind.
Exactly, because true fluency isn't just about memorizing lists of words. It's about having the right language to describe what you're actually feeling.
It really is. And today, we are bridging that gap between language and lifestyle with a topic that, it might trigger a little bit of stress just by talking about it.
Yeah, I am already feeling it, honestly. But stick with us because the payoff is totally worth it. Before we get into the heavy stuff, though, let's look back for just a second.
Right, our last session.
Yeah, in our last session, we were exploring Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In. We talked about that massive idea of finding your voice, building professional confidence, and sitting at the table in professional spaces.
It was a powerful discussion. But as we were prepping for today, we realized there is this massive roadblock to that entire concept.
A huge roadblock.
Right. Finding your voice in the office or even just speaking up in a second language. It often starts with how much space you actually have left in your mind.
It's so true. I mean, it is incredibly difficult to lean in to a high-stakes meeting or focus on complex English grammar if half your brain is trying to remember if you turn the stove off or if you replied to your mother-in-law or, when the dog needs his shots.
You cannot project authority if your mental bandwidth is completely maxed out. So today, we are shifting the conversation.
We're doing a deep dive into the source material surrounding a really fascinating concept.
Exactly. We're moving from the feeling of loss, losing time, losing energy, to a feeling of liberation. Today, we are talking about the invisible burden.
The invisible burden. I really like that term. It sounds kind of mysterious, but also, heavy.
It is heavy.
And I will be completely honest, my mental backpack is pretty overflowing today. Even right now, while I'm trying to focus on this recording and be the host, there's this background process running in my brain.
Oh, I know that background process.
Right. It's calculating when I can squeeze in an oil change for the car and simultaneously realizing I haven't emailed my sister back about the weekend. It just doesn't stop.
I know that feeling intimately. I actually call it the school spirit day trap.
The school spirit day trap. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so you're at work, you're being a professional, doing your job, but suddenly you have this mini panic attack. You think, wait, does my son have a yellow shirt for tomorrow? Is it clean? Do we even own a yellow shirt?
Oh, yes.
It is that constant feeling of being perpetually on call.
And that is exactly why we chose this topic for our listeners. Because if you want to reach an advanced level of English, you need the sophistication to name these invisible stressors.
Precisely. If you can't name the problem, you can't ask for help. And you certainly can't solve it.
So let's give this heavy feeling a name. The sociologists and experts in our sources call this the invisible burden.
Let's break that down for everyone. Most people think housework or life admin is just the physical stuff.
The scrubbing, the driving, the cooking.
Right. But the invisible burden is the intangible weight. It is the planning, the monitoring, the delegating. It's the work you do that no one sees, so no one ever says thank you.
It's the difference between execution and management, really.
Exactly.
And there's a more technical term for this in the research that I think is super useful for our advanced learners. It's called cognitive labor.
Cognitive labor, yes. Think of it this way. Physical labor is executing the task. Cognitive labor is anticipating the need for the task in the first place.
Okay, give me a concrete example so we can really picture it.
Let's go back to that yellow shirt example I mentioned earlier. The physical labor is putting the shirt in the washing machine. That takes, 30 seconds?
Right, super easy.
Yeah.
Anyone can do that.
But the cognitive labor is checking the school calendar, realizing Spirit Day is tomorrow, remembering the shirt is dirty at the bottom of a hamper, and then calculating if you have time to wash and dry it before morning.
Wow.
That is the project management behind the chore.
And that is exhausting. It is literally like having 20 tabs open in your brain browser at all times.
It really is. Now, for our listeners who want to bring this up with a friend over coffee or maybe a glass of wine without sounding like you are reading from a sociology textbook, we have some great phrases.
Yes, we need the witty phrases.
Here are a few ways to describe your mental load with a bit of a wink. You could say, I have officially retired from my role as the sole project manager of this household.
I love that one. I've sent in my resignation letter. It's effective immediately.
Or, Playfully, you could say, I am currently carrying an invisible burden so heavy that I think it qualifies as a secondary workout.
That is fantastic. It
Yeah.
frames it as exercise.
Right. Using humor can be a really great, non-confrontational way to make the invisible mental load visible to the people around you. It just starts the conversation softly.
But let's look at that job title you just mentioned. Sole Project Manager. This is our third key term for today, and it is a crucial one.
It sounds like a job title you would see on LinkedIn, doesn't it? But it's definitely not one you want at home.
Definitely not. So being the sole project manager means you are the only one holding the entire map of the household or the office in your head.
Right. It describes someone who takes on all the responsibility for organizing and anticipating. You are the CEO of the house, but you don't have an assistant, and you are definitely not getting the CEO paycheck.
We see this in the office all the time too, not just at home.
Hmm.
There is always that one person who somehow knows everyone's deadlines, reminds the team to bring their laptop chargers, and organizes all the birthday cards.
Oh, absolutely. It actually reminds me of my dad. He was an engineer, but he was also the office warrior.
The office warrior.
Yeah. He would come home late, not because he was doing actual engineering work, but because he was checking every tiny detail to make sure nothing fell through the cracks. He felt that if he didn't do it, if he didn't carry that cognitive labor, the whole operation would stall.
And when you live like that, responsibilities really do pile up. And hey, that is a great phrasal verb for this context.
It is. To pile up. It's a very visual phrase. Imagine a stack of papers on a desk getting higher and higher until it literally blocks your view.
But in this case, it's unread emails, mental to-do lists, and all those anxiety.
Exactly. So let's play this out a bit. When things pile up, the natural reaction for a partner or a helpful colleague is often to ask, how can I help? Which sounds nice, right?
That sounds lovely. Very supportive.
It sounds lovely, and here is the trap. If I have to tell you how to help, I am still doing the management. I am still the sole project manager.
Oh, I see. Right. I am just delegating the physical labor, but I'm keeping the cognitive labor of explaining it and monitoring it.
Mm.
So what is the alternative? What should we be asking for instead?
We don't need them to just help. We need them to step in.
Step in. That is our next phrasal verb.
Yes. To step in means to become involved in a difficult situation and take action. Specifically, taking ownership without being asked.
Okay, so instead of a partner saying, what should I put in the kid's lunch? Stepping in means...
It means they look in the fridge, they see what is there, and they just make the lunch. Full ownership. Start to finish. No questions asked.
That sounds like an absolute dream scenario.
I have to say, I experienced this just last week, and it made a huge difference. I was completely overwhelmed with a work deadline. My pile was very, very high. And my husband just stepped in.
That's great.
He handled the kids' school preparation entirely. He didn't ask me where the permission slips were or what to pack for snacks. He just handled the entire process.
That silence must have been golden.
It was the best gift he could have given me. In those moments, I feel like my pile is not too big to handle, you know?
Yeah, I totally get that. And here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a little difficult for some of us. For that to happen, for someone to truly step in, we have to be willing to let go of some control. We have to be willing to take on the challenge of pruning our expectations.
That is the hard truth. We have to talk about the wisdom of pruning. To take on means to accept a task or responsibility. And the responsibility here isn't doing more chores, it's doing less managing.
And pruning. Usually we talk about pruning in a garden, like cutting off dead branches.
Right. You cut the dead wood so the tree can grow taller and healthier. In this context, pruning isn't about quitting or being lazy. It is a sophisticated way of creating growth by removing the expectations that just don't serve you anymore. You have to prune your need for total control.
Okay, I have to confess, this is where I struggle. That is actually really hard for me. Because if I let my partner step in and do the grocery shopping, they might do it wrong.
Define wrong.
Well, wrong means coming home with the wrong brand of cereal. I mean, I have a specific system for the pantry.
A system for the pantry.
Yes. The boxes align a certain way. And if my wife comes home with a giant box of generic, plain, unsweetened bran flakes, you know, the kind that basically tastes like shredded cardboard, I am going to have a really hard time not biting my tongue.
Wait, seriously? Shredded cardboard?
It's terrible. It throws off my whole morning routine.
Okay, but listen to what you were saying right now. You are having an internal struggle where you have to choose between having the right cereal or having a lighter mental load. This is exactly where you have to take on the good enough motto.
Good enough. That is painful for a perfectionist to hear.
But think about it. If the family is fed and the grocery shopping is done, does it really matter if it's the high-fiber cardboard version instead of your favorite brand?
Put that way, it sounds completely ridiculous.
You have to prune that need for perfection. Because if you criticize how they do it, they will stop stepping in. And then you are the sole project manager all over again. You are essentially choosing the cereal over your own sanity.
You're right. I am literally choosing the cereal over my mental health. So, step 1, accept the brand flakes. What is step 2?
Step 2 is technology. We can use technology to prune the remembering phase. You shouldn't be using your brain as a hard drive. Use shared calendars or voice-activated assistants to automate the routine stuff.
That makes perfect sense. If it is on the digital list, I don't have to hold it in my head. It makes the invisible burden visible to everyone.
And remember, this isn't a one-time fix. It is about shifting the energy from the loss of control to the liberation of free time.
I really do believe that. And listening to you explain this, I think I need to make some actual changes.
Me too. I have decided on my own pruning project starting today. I am officially resigning as the sole project manager of our family's social calendar.
Wow, that is a big department to resign from.
It is, but I am going to embrace the good enough motto. I will let my partner take the lead on planning our weekend outings, and even if we just end up at the local park instead of some perfect curated ice show event, that is okay.
Because a relaxed parent at the park is so much better than a stressed parent at the ice show.
Exactly. I am trading perfectionism for genuine mental space.
That is a huge step. I am inspired. For my part, I am pruning the habit of keeping a constant mental running tab for our production team.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I usually carry this heavy mental backpack of reminders. Did you edit this? Did you upload that? But starting right now, I am going to put technology to work.
That is incredibly smart.
I am going to make the invisible visible by putting those tasks in a shared app. If it is not checked off, they will see it. It is not my burden to carry today. It's about finally letting the team step in so I can focus on being a better host for our listeners.
Way to go. That is a major win for your peace of mind. And honestly, it's a win for our listeners too, because a focused host is a fluent host.
That brings us right back to our core mission today. You can't speak fluent, sophisticated English if your processing power is completely used up worrying about milk and emails.
Absolutely. By choosing to prune those unnecessary mental tasks, you aren't losing control. You are gaining the space to prioritize your self-care and your professional goals.
So, we want to challenge you, the listener. We have some interactive homework for you today.
Don't worry, it is not a grammar drill. We want you to reach out to one person today, a partner, a roommate, or a colleague, and use one of the phrases we discussed to describe your mental load.
You could say, I need you to step in on this project, or my mental backpack is full. See how it changes the conversation.
Let us know in the comments how that conversation went.
And to make sure you have the words ready, let's do a rapid review of today's target language. Take us through it.
Happy to. Here we go. First, invisible burden, the hidden mental work of managing life. Second, cognitive labor, the mental effort of anticipating and planning distinct from physical labor. Third, sole project manager, being the only one responsible for the household flow, which leads to burnout.
And our phrasal verbs.
We had pile up. When tasks increase and become overwhelming, step in. To get involved and take ownership without being asked. And finally, take on. To accept a new responsibility, or in our case, a new mindset like good enough.
Start pruning that mental load today. You deserve the peace of mind.
And remember, reaching that next level of fluency isn't just about memorizing lists, it is about engaging deeply with the world around you. By discussing the invisible burden and cognitive labor today, you have practiced the exact kind of high-level communication required in professional and social settings.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. If cognitive labor is a finite resource, what brilliance are you missing out on because your brain is busy remembering to buy milk? What could you achieve if you reclaimed that space?
That is a powerful question to mull over.
If you found this session helpful, make sure to subscribe to the English Pulse. This is where we bridge the gap between language learning and real-life application.
Don't let your English practice pile up or feel like another heavy task in your mental backpack. Let these conversations be a way to find your true voice.
We will be back next week with more insights to help you stay sharp and sophisticated in your expression.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Be informed, be fluent, and keep feeling the pulse.